Absolutely.
Okay, I think it's setting up now. I'm going to just give it a minute or two. I'm just going to pop our logo up and put us on mute just to give a few people a few moments to get on.
Awesome.
And I'm just going to make sure we are going live. Amazing. All right, I think we are officially live, which is super exciting. Let me pop this here so I can see you, Cathy. A huge welcome to everybody. I am so excited about today's NHC TV episode. I just want to officially welcome everybody to our third episode of Naked TV. This channel is really designed to strip back the BS, right? And get real and get raw about a range of topics, from everything from health and relationships to mindset to parenting to self-love and our financial well-being and empowerment as well. And our goal on these sessions is to bring you the best coaches and experts in these areas to really inspire, educate, and also empower you to really live your best life and just your most connected and fulfilling life as well. So for those of you that don't know me, allow me to introduce myself briefly. My name is Kimberly Wellman, and I'm really excited to host today's episode called The Alchemy of Abundance, with our special guest, one of my most favorite women on the planet, the incredible Cathy Feenan. And Cathy is a best-selling author. She is a success life coach, and she's also the head mindset coach in our Naked Health Challenge that we have, our online global health program. And you know what? Today we're going to be discussing, what's really holding you back from that next level of abundance, and really share some practical tips on how you can level up, in particularly your money mindset. And I know this particular area of my life held me back for so many years. And I constantly felt like I had this glass ceiling on me, and I felt very trapped and capped in this area of my life. But when I went to work on my beliefs, on my mindset, and also my self-worth, not only did I grow as a woman personally, but my net worth grew professionally. And I truly believe the two of those things are intrinsically linked. And also, they form part of our overall health and wellness journey. So I want to get out of the way today. I want to bring Cathy into the spotlight to share on this topic and really help our viewers, gain, as I said, those practical tips and wisdom on the pillars of long-term financial wealth and intelligence. And I just want to pre-frame this with you for a moment, Cathy, before I pass over here, because one of the reasons that Kira and I were just so excited to link arms with you today was because often we can see numbers and finances as to be kind of like the man's job, right? There's a very masculine energy around it. And you just bring this beautiful, elegant, feminine flow to this area of life. And that has truly helped me with my mindset, coming from that approach and bringing that flow into this area of our life. So I want to hand straight over to you and let you just share on this beautiful topic, because you always have so much magic to give.
Well, thank you so much, Kimberly. And oh my goodness, what an introduction. I'm so grateful and you're so kind. And I really, all my life, I've loved just being in the presence of other women who love to make a difference in the lives of other people. And that's why I feel like we get on just so well as friends and just, really down to earth girls who just love to help other women. And I'm going to share my screen here because I've got some really fun slides that I thought I would share today. So that would be great. And while that screen's coming up, one of the biggest things that I have learned in my life, and I don't know if you can actually see that screen there. Awesome, beautiful. Technology, it's just not my genius zone, I have to tell you. So thank goodness we can engage experts in this area. So thank you. I find that when we overcome the pitfalls of prosperity and learn nature's laws to financial success, honestly, once you have that in your hot little hands, you will just never go back to struggling financially again. And if you're struggling financially now, it's because you're not following the rules of the money game. So there are rules to life. When we think about our health, we drink water, we eat whole foods, we get enough sleep, we look after ourselves, a little bit of TLC. And it's the same with money. Money has rules. And what I learned was that I was never taught the money rules. I was never taught nature's laws of prosperity. And I had to learn the real hard way. And I'll be honest with you, since learning these laws of money and abundance, my life has completely shifted in a 180-degree turn because I was taught to go to school. I was brought up in a home where I was taught to get a good education, go to work in a job for 50 years and you'll make it. So I tried that. I tried really hard following that system. And, 13 years working hard, 7 days a week. I was working in corporate. I was also employed, just so that you can get a little bit of my background and where I came from. But I reached burnout and my marriage started to suffer. My health started to suffer. I was just working so hard because that's what I was taught. I didn't have a social life because I just had no time. Life was so full. And I was a little bit like that girl that would get into my car for work. I would drive into town into my job. And although it served a purpose at that time, it really only bridged a gap for a little while. But I would see the same brown car to the same workplace every single day. And I don't know if you felt like that before, but I call it the rat race. And I found myself in that rat race for so many years. And I was one of the 95% of Australians that would potentially lose my home if my sole source of income actually stopped. And that's a really scary thought because we're just not taught these beautiful laws in school or even in our workplace. And so it was a really interesting time of my life. I was very frustrated. I was going nowhere in my life. I was feeling really lost and really unfulfilled. And I just remember going to bed one night and just praying this really bold prayer. And I'm like, God, like life has got to be better than this. So not only were the other parts of my life kind of falling apart, but especially in my finances, I just felt so out of control. And I almost felt like a conduit. My pay would come in and it would go straight out the other end and it would never hang out in the middle. And I just wanted it to hang out and play for a little bit, right? But no matter, and it didn't matter whether I was earning a little or I was earning a lot, it just always found its way to flee me. And I just didn't get it because I was working so hard. So one day, it's interesting when we put those intentions out there, the people that come into our life and the resources that come into our life. But I was introduced to Kim Kiyosaki. And for those of you who have maybe not heard of Kim before, or Robert Kiyosaki, her husband, Robert wrote a book called Rich Dad, Poor Dad and the Cash Flow Quadrant. And I was just ready to learn. I was just so sick and tired of being sick and tired that I was just too ready to learn from these masters. Now, a little bit of a pre-frame here. I am not anything special, right? I'm not an inventor as such, but I've always been a great implementer. You show me how to do A, B, C, D, I'll go copy that, right? So when they told me that I wasn't allowed to copy people's homework in school, oh my gosh, was I up the creek big time, and I had to try and work it out all myself. And I kind of did. But when I learned as an adult that when we model the successful people that have gone before us, if we go and look at their lifestyle or look at the results or look at the outcomes that they've achieved in their life, not only in money, but in our relationships, in our health, in our spiritual life, in all of those key areas that we all value, then you're going to achieve the same result if you do the same things that they did. So what I really loved about that was that I could just go and copy. And what I've learned over my last 20, 21 years of being in the personal development and this space is that more money does not solve problems. Having financial intelligence solves the money problems. Because to be honest with you, I work with multimillionaires today that don't understand the wealth principles, and the big money comes in and the big money goes out just as quick. So what I found was that after committing completely to transforming my own mindset in 2003, I went from that financial fear, that lack, that uncertainty, and no belief in myself and having no confidence in myself to becoming a financially free woman, creating a thriving multi-million-dollar business and investments with different avenues that create that capacity, and turning my whole life around within 3 years. And it was incredible. It felt so miraculous because for so many years, for most of my adult life, I struggled majorly. And it just brings back all of those emotions of how difficult it can be when you're going down to the supermarket and all you have is $10 and you're wondering, do I buy sausages this week to feed the family, or do I buy, the Weet-Bix and the milk to feed my baby? And that's really tough. And there's so many of us women and families at one point in our life or another go through these challenging times. But I want to give you some peace of mind today that it doesn't have to stay that way. You might fall in the water, but you don't drown from falling in the water, you drown from staying there. So my hope for you today is that this can be a life, what's that thing called where you throw it in the water? See, you don't need to be perfect. Not the raft, or it could be a raft, or just the life-saving ring that you throw out into the water. And if you put your hand up and you implement these things, your whole financial world is going to just shift. And just you being aware today of you wanting to grow and move forward, that's going to start causing a shift anyway. So my passion today is really my commitment in helping other women to achieve everything that they once thought was impossible in their dreams. So we get to become a manager of our circumstances, or we get to become a creator of our wealth, and we get to choose. And we're always manifesting, whatever it is that we're thinking about, that's what we're bringing about in our life. But most people, because they don't understand these laws, they're manifesting constantly what it is that they don't want in their life. And their life is on repeat year after year after year. So what we want to do is we want to give some tools and resources today so you can start manifesting the financial results that you do want, that you dream about, that you wish and you hope and you pray for. So when we hear the word money, it can bring up so many different emotions for us, can't it? There are a few topics that we can talk about that elicit such strong emotions as the word money does. I had such a poverty lack and scarcity mindset when it came to this particular topic. And I'll be honest with you, I wouldn't even say the word money because it just felt so icky for me, right? And it can make people feel guilty when they have it or ashamed when they don't have it. And it's an intensely personal and it's very highly charged as well. So when we think about money, it has the power to create or it has the power to destroy, depending on whose hands it is in, right? If it's in the hands of ego or in the hands of love, it can make an impact. Money is such an inert object. It's like Facebook, it's like social media, right? It's like the internet. Depending on whose hands it's in, that's the energy it's going to bring forward because money is just energy. Yeah. And so it can be a blessing that turns your dreams into reality, or for most of us at some point of our time, a burden that we're always carrying. So my hope is that we, move over into it being a blessing in your life. But one thing that is for sure is that you must master money or it's going to master you in your life. So I want to move forward and just share with you a little bit about what are the 4 pillars of success. Now, this obviously can apply to every single part of your life that you value, your relationships, your health, your spiritual life, every single area that you value. Obviously, today we're talking about money. So when we think about the 4 pillars, we have intention. So that's what you're thinking about. That's what you're focusing on, defining what it is that you want and setting a vision and those goals as well. It's reframing the unseen limiting beliefs that are sitting in the subconscious mind that sabotage your success. Okay. So when we think about our conscious mind, that's 5% of what creates our physical reality. And the subconscious mind, that's the big chunk of the iceberg that you don't see that's underneath the water. That's 95 to 96% responsible for creating your physical reality and the outcomes that you're getting and manifesting in your life. And we'll go and dive in a little bit deeper on that today. And then there's the action. So it's identifying and taking the next step. So it's all really great to have an intention and a goal and a vision, create the beliefs that you need that are going to be resourceful for you. But if you're sitting around waiting for money to come your way, I'm sorry to tell you, girlfriend, it's not going to happen, right? I tried that. I didn't take action for a long time and I was just not congruent in my consistency or in my action for the goals and the dreams that I'd actually set for myself. It's about taking those next steps. And then the fourth key area of success is grace. It's getting into alignment. It's that divine intelligence. We talk about the conscious mind, the subconscious mind, divine and that infinite intelligence, God, universe, whatever name you give that, the source of life and creation is the super conscious mind. And when you tap into that, that is just like game over, right? And it's also named as frequency or vibration, as many of you know it as well. And so when we think about the very first pillar of success, this is our intention. And it's about setting a proper goal. Now, before I get super excited and let you go on your epic journey of inspiration and self-growth and personal development, what we need to do is we need to give money a purpose, right? To make sure that you have a goal set, but not just any goal, one that is achievable, a goal that's something it really resonates with your heart. It's fun to work towards, it's compelling, and a goal that means something to you, having a vision. Even the good book says, without a vision, the people perish. So simply by writing down your goal on paper, you're something like 50% more likely to achieve it, right? Just by writing it down. So can you imagine what would happen when not only you wrote it down every single day in your journaling practice or when you start strong with your rituals in the morning, but also break down exactly how you're going to achieve that goal. So today I'd love to start challenging your thinking power and really exploring what these goals, financial goals, could look like for you. So let's just do a quick little check-in before we move on and just ask yourself, Out of 1 to 10, 1 being that it's a very unfulfilling, you're really unhappy, there's perhaps lack, there's scarcity, there could be anxiety, even a depressed feeling when we talk about finances. What would you rate your finances right now? Where you are right now in your present and where you're going in your future. You know, a lot of you may have a business of your own that you're growing. You may have different wealth creation principles in place as well, different wealth strategies. What is it that you're working towards? And a 10 out of 10 means that you're happy, you're content, you're feeling abundant, and you're quite excited about where it is you are right now and even where it is that you're going. What's the emotion that's popping up for you right now? And have a think about how comfortable do you actually feel about your financial situation, both present and in the future. And we all know we've all had these moments. A lot of arguments in relationships will always revolve around finances. I cannot tell you how many high level discussions I've had with my husband about money or the lack of it, right? So it's about becoming magnetic, and your job is to know what it is that you want. When you know what you want, your subconscious mind is going to go to work on your behalf. And that reticular activating system that's in your brain is going to start seeing the open doors, the opportunities instead of closed ones. So this is like putting the horse before the cart. So many people are trying to work out, how can I make more money? How can I change my financial situation? How, Kath, tell me how. And that's the cart that comes behind the horse. First, we must know why. Because when you know why, when it's in your awareness, you will attract the opportunities, the people, the resources, and everything that you need to manifest your desires. And I literally am having a goosebump moment right now because I have seen this play out in my life so many times now. And humans cannot defy natural law. It must happen. These laws must happen. A little bit like, I have some women say, oh, like this is really great and it all sounds amazing, but I'm just not too sure if this law kind of really works. I'm like, well, let's try it. Have you heard of the law of gravity? Well, yeah, I have. Well, go to your nearest rooftop, jump off, even if you don't believe it. The law of gravity is going to show you that you will fall when you jump. And it's no different whether you believe these laws or not, my friend. They are either working for you or they are working against you. And you can pretty much tell that when things are not going our way, these laws are working against us. It all begins and ends with a dream. And so ask yourself at some stage today, ask yourself, pull out your journal. What would you love in this area of your life, in your finances, if there were no time restrictions, there were no financial restrictions, and there were no belief restrictions? Take that metaphorical lid off your mind and just imagine fairy godmother has just showed up and is just about to grant all your financial wishes. What is it that you ask for? And so now that you get some clarity around what you would love your financial life to look like, now I need to know how to set a proper goal. And it amazes me that no matter how many women I work with, or no matter how many masterclasses I've run, I've hosted, I'm always going to come across at least several people who have either never set a goal before or they just don't even know where to start. And I certainly was one of those girls before I learned from the masters that went before me. And if these women have set goals before, it never ceases to amaze me, really, how vague and uninspiring they are, right? I look back on some of my goals over the last 20 years and I think, oh gosh, Kath, no wonder you didn't move forward, because like that is boring, girlfriend, right? And if you're not having fun, we're doing something wrong, right? And just a little hot tip, that when you're having fun, it speeds up the manifestation process for you, okay? And so when we think about how uninspiring they are. Like, what in the world does it actually mean to have more money? Right? So the problem with vague goal setting is that your subconscious mind is extremely lazy, and not lazy in a bad sense, but lazy in the sense that it's always going to take the path of least resistance to bring you what it is that you want and conserving the most energy in the meantime. So when you set a goal that says, I want or I need more money, your subconscious mind is going to take you in a literal sense. So you might walk past your living room one day and you see a $2 coin, hidden beside the coffee table, and your subconscious mind is going to see that and automatically recognize that you received more money. So to the subconscious mind, your goal was achieved. The mission's accomplished. There's no more work to be done in looking for more money, right? So even though consciously you obviously meant more than $2, right? Your subconscious mind will always take you literally. So therefore, we must be super specific with what it is that you want. So a really great goal setting formula that you can use is writing down the date and the time and how much money you actually want to attract into your life. So I'm just going to use the example of $2,111. So in your journaling, you might write something like, it is now the 5th of May, 2021. It's 2:22 p.m. and I've attracted 10 new customers in my business that I get to take care of and help overcome their challenge. I see what we want to do is we want to bring into our emotions. What is it that you see? I see $2,111 in my bank account and messages from happy customers because their problems have been solved with my product or my service. I see myself enjoying the relaxing facial and the full body massage that I'm having at the Golden Door Retreat, right? How are you going to reward yourself and celebrate the service that you're adding value to the world? What is it that you hear? Imagine that that money has just dropped into your bank account. What do you hear? I hear my hubby and my daughter squealing with excitement because I've just booked a week's holiday to the Gold Coast. I feel proud of myself for staying true to my dream. And I accomplished because I overcame the BS stories that were trying to hold me back, right? And I didn't play small. I refused to play small. And I've achieved this because I visualized my goal every day. I took inspired action towards my goal every day. And I practiced high vibe, feeling good at least 50% of the time. And then in order to achieve these goals, you want to write down at least 3 goalposts of the actions that you need to take within that due date. Okay, so it's really important. And that for the sake of this exercise, you could choose your date to be 30 days from today. Set yourself a small goal, even if it's for, $300, because really it can only be realistic or attainable when we think about the SMART goal setting process. When we say realistic and attainable, that's according to your belief system. Because once upon a time, my belief system only allowed me to see an extra $200 for that month. These days, my belief system is so big, it scares me sometimes, right? But it's good to have those hairy, audacious goals as well.
And I can jump in here for 2 seconds, Cathy.
Yes, absolutely.
A little gold nugget there. And I want to expand on that because sometimes we actually keep our goals very small because we're almost preempting that we're going to fail, right? That limiting belief of that fear of failure and who am I? And that worthiness around that. So for what you're talking about for all of our viewers, we want you to go big, right? This is your chance to test the law of attraction with that faith and go big, because often we keep our goals very small for fear of failure. So I love that you've touched on that. It's time to stop playing small, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And really choose that financial goal that you'd really like to accomplish that would actually make a big difference in your own life when you finally accomplish that as well. And then we move on to the second pillar of success. And this is it's perfect timing, because it's about squashing those limiting beliefs. And, what we think about and what we believe about and what we think about is what we attract more of into our life. When we've got that definite thinking or that logical brain, we really do limit ourselves, don't we, Kimberly? We play small. We don't set those hairy, audacious goals because there's fear, there's separation from divine, there's lack, there's scarcity, versus that infinite thinking. And when we step into that space of love and abundance and that limitless alignment with divine, it's incredible what comes into your life that you do want. And so the subconscious mind, as we mentioned, there's 60,000 thoughts per day, every single day, and 80% of them are negative. You think about all the self-help books that you've read. I'm pretty certain, and not that I've gone looking for them, but every single one of them teaches us how to have a positive mental attitude. There is no book out there that teaches us how to think negatively, right? Because we do it so naturally and we're surrounded by negative all the time. So uncovering those limiting beliefs, what we want to do, and it's a quick little exercise that you can do it when you leave this webinar today, is you can write down this statement. So just take out a fresh sheet of paper. And this is something that I actually learned by one of my money coaches actually at MJB seminars, which is incredible. And what I learned was, when you take a fresh sheet of paper out and you want to write your answers all over the sheet, and the statement that you're going to write down is based on my upbringing and environment, I believe that money is, and you might write it's, it is, it doesn't, I am, I'm not, I can, I can't. And just allow, in that safe space on your sheet of paper, just all of the thoughts that are coming up for you that are spilling out onto paper, because these are all the negative limiting beliefs that are sitting in the subconscious mind. And this is the opportunity that you get to overcome them and reframe them into something that's actually going to be resourceful for you. So when you notice any of the positive statements that you write down on your sheet of paper, just put a little plus symbol, and next to the negative statements that come up around your beliefs around money, or even beliefs around yourself as well, write a little minus symbol. And then what you can do is we can start affirming your money truths. And affirmations are so very useful in training your subconscious brain. And today we're going to get a bunch more, right? So just like limiting beliefs around money started as a single thought that just kept on repeating itself over and over again until it was absorbed by your subconscious mind like a sponge and manifested into money struggle, we have to work on our affirmations in a similar way. And so affirmations are used by stating positive phrases that represents what it is that you actually want to manifest instead. So it's highly recommended to profess these affirmations with as much emotion as possible. And you want to feel them as absolute truth. So without this emotion, it kind of sounds like any other statement, right, that you could be saying to yourself. And saying them the first few times, like I am worthy, like money is coming into my life from sources expected and unexpected, your logical brain or your ego mind is going to pop up and say, no, Kath, have you not seen what's happened in this last 5 years, girlfriend? Right? And so saying them the first few times is going to feel kind of really funky. Little bit like that pair of jeans that you go and buy for the very first time, the brand new jeans, and you get them home and you put the jeans on and they kind of feel really uncomfortable to begin with. And then you put your jeans on again in another, couple of days, and it just feels a little bit better. And then you put them on a week later and you can actually do the zip up this time. But the more you wear them, the more you wear these jeans, the more times you practice and you put them on, it gets so comfortable. Right. And I remember I was that girl that I couldn't look you in the eye. I couldn't look myself in the mirror. I couldn't have that conversation. with other people because I just didn't feel good enough. I just didn't feel worthy and I had no confidence. But I would look myself in the eye and I would force myself to look myself in the eye and tell myself, convince myself that I'm a child of God. I was born for greatness. I was born for a reason. I'm here for a purpose. You know, I have gifts, I have talents, as do you, my friend. And so when we can keep on repeating that every day and practice it at least for the first 30 days until it feels comfortable. And you can just walk past the mirror one day and, you know, you're just going to know and believe that you are worthy of having a happy, joyful, fulfilling, successful, and abundant life that you dream about. It is so possible, and that's why we're here today. So here are some money affirmations that you can maybe take a screenshot of this, or you can grab your phone out and take a shot of this. And a really great buffer. So as an example, money comes my way quickly and easily, right? You want to put a buffer at the beginning of that says, I'm choosing to believe, or I'm in the process of believing. And that's really going to help you to start falling in love with that belief. Okay. So what I'd love for you to do is just to choose 3 of those that really resonate with you, 3 of those that really speak to your heart. You know, I deserve to be highly paid for the work that I do. I'm a magnet to money. Prosperity is drawn to me. I'm so worthy of making more money. I'm open and ready to receive all the wealth that life offers me. So choose 3 of those. And I want to challenge you that this next week and this next 30 days, that you say these at least 3 times every day and really feel it. Really feel it. Then we have some other affirmations about yourself. So what is a story that you've been telling yourself all along? So now the story could be that you're a force for the highest good of all, that you are confident, you are courageous, you are bold and capable of creating anything that you set your mind to. So I encourage you to take a little photo of this screen as well and practice at least 3 of these every single day, 3 times a day for the next 30 days. So that's your recipe for success, for really reframing those BS stories that have been holding you back and keeping you playing small for so long. Okay. So then the third pillar of success is about taking inspired action. And you may or may not have heard about the law of gender. So the law of gender in Success Principles means that we need to have both masculine and feminine energy for success and fulfillment. So this is about, a lot of people think that, okay, I could be in a full-time job right now. I'm sick and tired. I've got no time. I would really love to expand my life. I'd love to have time freedom, be that present parent with my children. These were my dreams once upon a time too. I want to be that present mom. I want to be that present dad. I want to be able to spend time with the people that I love on my terms, right? I want to be able to own my own life. I'm tired of people telling me what to do. I want to own my life. I want to own my diary and say, okay, what's doing this week? I'm going to work on my business. I'm going to work on my wealth creation. I'm going to work on my mindset. I'm going to spend time with my family. I'm going to go and build that orphanage. What is it for you? How do you want to spend that time? Right? And there is a time for hustle, that masculine energy. There is a time for persistence, that masculine energy. There's time for planting seeds, that masculine energy, right? But it's about getting into messy, massive action. So many people are waiting for all the lights to be green at the traffic lights before they drive out of their driveway. It ain't gonna happen. And you're gonna waste your life hoping for everything to be perfect for you to start taking action. It's messy. It is never convenient. So if you're waiting for that moment to be convenient, you're going to be waiting a long time, right? I just want to give it to you, right? I just want to give you the duck's guts of what makes success work. So take messy, massive action. Get the ball rolling. You cannot steer a parked car, right? If the car is parked in the garage, you can't steer it, but the squeaky wheel gets the oil. It's the one who's moving that can just readjust. That you fail, and failure is a learning experience. It's not a person. It's a time to readjust. It's about moving forward. It's a time to play hard. And what I find is that a lot of the times we often think, and I used to think in myself, especially when I was working full-time in corporate, and I had my own self-employed business, but I also had a side hustle. I used to think that I had to work another 60, 70, 80 crazy hours a week to go and make massive success happen. But I was so incorrect in that understanding, because what I realized is that it was consistency every day. That in the beginning, I just took 15 minutes a day to put into my business at about 11:30 at night, once I'd done and dusted my corporate world, my traditional business, got all the bookwork out of the day, had something to eat real quick, did not even watch TV. That's how sucky my life was, right? I had literally no time for TV, except for on a Tuesday night. I used to watch CSI at 7:30, and like that was my escape, right? But this girl was not having any fun, and that's why I became so unfulfilled. But then we need to have the beautiful feminine essence come in as well. And that feminine energy is having patience, letting go, surrendering. It's nurturing those seeds that you've planted and growing them to manifest what it is that you want. That feminine energy, as part of the law of gender, is time for flow, time for receiving, time for also taking action as well. Play hard, absolutely, but make sure you feed your soul. Make sure you take time to relax, take care of yourself, and do the things that make you feel good. Because if you don't feel good, all of that hard work on that deeper metaphysical level, if you feel crappy and you don't feel good, all of your hard work, it just does not work out. All that getting stuff done, doing the grind and the hustle, planting the seeds, they won't be nurtured if you don't feel good. So when we feel good, we do good. And when we do good, we attract good. And that's really exciting.
Can I ask you something there, Cathy, quickly?
Yes.
Do you feel that maybe that's where, for a lot of women that are caught up in that pushing a boulder up a hill, hard action every day, and they find it quite difficult to set into that, more graceful state and let it flow to you and in that alignment, that maybe that's a little bit of a sign that there's some self-worth that could do with some improvement, that we're not giving ourselves permission to actually slow down and trust this process?
Oh my goodness, absolutely. I was one of those girls. I had this belief going on that meant that if I wasn't always in the doing, then I was not actually going to accomplish. And a lot of that came from programming from the past. A lot of that came from working in the corporate world for so many years, of just being in the hustle and the grind and achievements and getting the goals and things like that. And definitely when we don't feel worthy, we don't make time to take care of ourselves. We're always so busy giving, and taking care of everybody else, our families, our work colleagues, our clients in our jobs or our businesses. But when do we ever make that time to give to ourselves? And if you're putting everybody first before yourself, you're actually telling divine that everybody else is more important than you are, because that's what you actually think and believe as well. And so something that we don't do enough of is in this enormous, unlimited, and unbelievably amazing universe, is actually ask for more of what it is that we want. And we, especially as women, we're so afraid of dreaming, right? We're so afraid of asking for more because we think that we must be self-sacrificial. right? Not spending that time looking after ourselves, not buying ourselves the nice clothes that we want because we're buying them for our children first, right? That we should be grateful for just having enough. And so it's all, although it's really great and all to definitely be grateful for what we already have, it's just as super as important that we don't ever want to settle for in life, because life is not about settling. You know, we live in an unlimited universe that is forever expanding. And it's actually part of our programming to have desires, to have wants, and to have wishes for our lives. And our souls are trying to expand with the universe. And what most of us end up doing is going against the grain. So we're literally swimming against the current when we deny ourselves what it is that we truly want. And sometimes that's just having an hour or two just for ourselves. So don't deny ourselves of that, because you're so worthy. And there's no limit as to what we can really manifest or create in our lives as well. And that brings us to having a thankful heart. You know, and if gratitude is not already part of your daily life, really prepare for some major shifts to occur in your happiness levels, in your fulfillment, and just your overall energy, you know, getting into high vibe. I often, if I wake up in the morning and I'm just not feeling it, like, because we're human, right? We're human beings, we're not human doings, right? And if I wake up in the morning and I'm just not feeling it, I'm pretty low vibe and I'm just, you know, challenged, or I'm feeling negative, or I'm full of anxiety, or if I'm overwhelmed when I wake up, one of the first things that I do is I go on a gratitude rampage, right? And when I can't think of, you know, because we go into our pity parties and we suck on our thumb, or maybe not you, but this is what I do, right? I suck on my thumb and think, you know what? I don't want to be positive today, right? Just leave me alone, for goodness sakes. I just want to stay in bed. Has anyone had those thoughts before? That's me every now and then. Yeah, totally. We wouldn't be real and raw if we don't have really crappy days. We're going to have crappy days. But when I can't really think of the things that I'm grateful for, I just start with the smallest thing that I can actually see. So I might start with my fingers and think, you know what? I've got 5 fingers. With 5 fingers, I can pick up this pen. With that pen, I can write, which means I don't have to remember it. And that means that I have a memory bank, or I have a brain, and I actually am healthy, so I can think. And if I can think, that means I can actually get out of bed. And if I can get out of bed, it means I can go and make my whole food smoothie, which means I know where my next meal's coming from. And if I know where my next meal's coming from, because there's a lot of people that don't even know when they're going to eat next, far out, I've got a fridge. I've got a fridge and there's food in that fridge. And if I run out, I can go to the supermarket, and then just one thing leads to another, to another, to another. Before you know it, girlfriend, you're going to be jumping out of bed and so full of life and so excited for your life and love your life, because you've actually stepped into the space of love. And it's the highest vibration emotion that exists in the universe, and that's gratitude. You know, the prayer for what we have, what we appreciate, what we're grateful for, and what we send unconditional love to, that's what really, really flourishes in our life as well. And then it's about letting it all out. Like, we've got to get this crap that we're storing inside, we've got to let it out. And as I mentioned a little bit earlier, that, you know, part of my daily struggle before I started to even journal on a regular basis was that I would suffer in overwhelm almost daily. And that was mainly because I was so unorganized with my time, and I was repressing my negative emotions. So I would really struggle, and I would just strive to, you know, just keep down any stress or any worries or any frustrations that I would come across in my day-to-day life. And if something happened, I actually used to refuse to address it. So I'd either ignore it, or I'd just stuff it down deep inside of me, you know, and try and hold it down using that metaphorical lid. And the reason why I ended up feeling so much better and being in a high vibration, because the air of abundance and having money and attracting money as that energy, we need to be feeling good at least 50% of the time. So it's okay to be negative, so don't worry about that. But as long as we're feeling good at least 50% of the time. And when I used my journaling practice, it really just allowed me to finally take that lid off and blow off some steam, right? Just to let go of the emotional crap that I was carrying around for so long, letting anything out that wasn't bothering me. Okay. And so even though it's a very safe space to write down anything that's bothering us, doesn't mean you have to solve your problems there and then. You can go back and process it another time, but it just lets you get it out, which is really, really cool. So then we come to meditation, and this has been a huge part of my life, and silence is really potent. And there are thousands of benefits to meditation, but one that's always been my favorite and will always continue to be my favorite, that made a massive shift in my life, because I was the girl that was just the go, 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 go bunny, getting things done in masculine energy all the time. The thing that I loved about meditation was the incredible inspiration and the guidance that comes through silence and that stillness. Because when we're noisy and we're busy, we can't hear the answers to our intentions. We can't hear the answers from divine, or listening to our higher self. And our higher self is the GPS that then tells you to take that next inspired action. You know, it tells you to reach out to that person. It tells you to put that post on social media. It tells you to take that next step in the road. And when you listen to that and you acknowledge that and you take that action, oh my gosh, it is a game changer. But to be honest with you, meditation always looked to me like it was the biggest waste of time, right? If I'm honest. I mean, how in the heck can you be productive sitting there with your legs crossed and your palms up and breathing deeply with your eyes closed? Like, seriously, I did not resonate with it whatsoever in the beginning. And it made zero sense to me, because I was like this alpha female, like just going for it hard, right? Until, of course, I actually tried it. And if it wasn't for my willingness and my willingness to start meditating, I wouldn't nearly be as inspired nor connected to God as I am today. Because when we pray, we're asking. And when we're meditating, we're listening and getting the answers to our prayers. And they go hand in hand. And you really can't have one without the other. You can't keep asking for answers, but not making the space to actually hear and listen for those answers. So if you don't meditate already, you'll soon find that just 5 minutes a day in the morning is all you'll need. So, you know, just practice quietening your mind and just listening for those inspired ideas, those thoughts, and those how-tos to show up. Every single one of my businesses and business ideas and all of the success that I've created, especially in this last 7 to 8 years, has all come from meditation, listening to those answers and then taking action. If you find it really difficult to quieten the mind, there's some really great meditation practices on YouTube that you can go and find that are guided. So you're literally listening, and that's how I started in the beginning, because I found it really hard. I had a million thoughts running around in my mind, and I just listened to a guided meditation of someone just guiding me, and that was really amazing as well. So that's been
add in there, Kath, that you know, for a lot of women that do find it very hard, and men, you know what, it's just another skill set. You've got to learn how to put this tool in the tool belt, and that does take time. So often we can put it in the too hard basket because we're not getting that perfect outcome then and there, and we're not feeling the results straight away. But my mantra, I can see you've got mantra up on here, with meditation, is done is better than perfect. And it's the compounding effect of you actually stepping into that state every day. So yes, some days for me are 15 minutes of pure bliss out in the garden, sun shining on my face. Other days, the kids are by the TV, I'm crouched on the lounge room floor sipping my coffee, and it's meditation with movement. But it's just checking in, right, and quietening it down and not looking for that perfect outcome. Done is better than perfect, and it really is a game changer.
Yeah, absolutely. So true. And mantra, I strongly believe that affirmation and mantra work has been one of my superpowers when it comes to manifesting my desires. Each morning before you start the day, I will have a daily mantra to set an intention for that day. And the purpose for a mantra is to read it and then say it out, say it out loud. And then take it with you throughout the day. So you really set up your day and live your day deliberately, with intention, rather than being that leaf and just seeing what kind of happens. So this next one is just an absolute game changer. No, I say that everyone's a game changer, but honestly, if you just do this one thing, this may change your life alone, because this is about doing some super crucial mental clearing. And you could literally implement this one practice, and I guarantee you're going to see major shifts in your life, right? However, I know that each and every one of you are overachievers just like us, and you're eager to manifest what it is that you truly, truly desire. But this is the time that we take to completely forgive yourself. Forgive everyone in your past, everything that's ever happened to you since your birth. It doesn't matter what so-and-so did to you. What truly matters is that holding on to any grudges from your past is going to prevent you from manifesting money. Forgiving someone, it doesn't mean that they never did anything wrong, or they didn't take away from you, or they treated you poorly. Forgiving someone else actually means that you love yourself enough to let go of the crappy situation that no longer serves you, right? And we've all been hurt. We've all been taken advantage of. We've all had things taken away from us. But it's time to allow yourself that relief and open yourself up to more miracles in your life, because you are an attraction magnet. And this is like cleaning the magnet so you can attract, right? Holding on to a grudge, I've learned, is like intending to poison someone else, but you end up drinking the poison yourself, right? The physical junk is really clogging up your physical world, right? So if you can clear out your office desk, if you can clear out the benches in your kitchen, if you can do out that physical clearing, that just helps you to breathe and helps you to feel light and helps you to feel free. And the same too here. If physical junk has been clogging up your purse and your money spaces, the mental junk is clogging up your precious heart. So even if you think you've let go of past negative situations in your mind, your heart doesn't know it yet, because they still might be living in that precious heart space. And the only way to release it all is to forgive it all. And you can actually go onto YouTube again. There's a beautiful Hawaiian practice that's called Ho'oponopono. And you can just look up forgiveness meditation, and that will be one of the first things that comes up. It's very well known, and it's such a huge part of attracting money into your life, again, because money is an energy. And we get to say, I forgive you. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. It's practicing that unconditional love. And I want you to truly, truly mean it. And remember to put yourself in the picture, because we are so amazing at taking care of everyone. We're so amazing at loving on other people and caring for other people and being considerate and compassionate and kind to other people. But now it's time to practice that on yourself. It's practicing that self-love. Because if you don't feel worthy, or you don't forgive yourself of the things that maybe you've done or you're feeling guilty of, it's time to let that go. And after doing this one action, you might discover that you're going to feel much lighter. You're actually going to feel like you've literally cleared up space in your heart to allow more of that good energy to flow in. And then we come to the law of vibration, and this is all about embodying the wealthy version of you that already has what she desires, yeah? And so as you can see here, that thoughts become things. And if you see it in your mind first, you're going to hold it in your hand. So think about, how do you show up? How would a wealthy woman show up? You know, you could do little level ups, because I would look at things in my home. I'd look at the broken door, or I'd look at the kettle that was no longer working and I didn't have money, and I'd look at these things and I would just feel so crappy. And because I felt crappy on an energetic level, my vibration or my frequency, I would attract more lack, more scarcity into my life. So I would do little level ups. And what you want to do is you want to get into feeling abundant. Because when you feel abundant, like attracts like, as in the law of attraction, you're going to attract abundance. When you're feeling good, you're going to attract abundance. So I would do these little level ups. So I'll give you an example. I would go grocery shopping and I would have $150 to spend on my groceries. And that was my budget. I could not go over, as an example. And I would buy the no-name soap, you know, the pump soap that we have in our bathroom. So I would buy the no-name or the home brand soap. And every time I go into my bathroom, instead of being grateful for actually having soap in the first place, I would grumble and I'd whinge and I'd complain because I'm using no-name soap, right? But instead, what I would do is I would go to the supermarket and I would look in, I would stand in that health and beauty aisle and I would look at all the brands of the soap, and there would always be this one brand on the top shelf that was a brown bottle and it was called Thank You soap. Now, it was about $3 or $4 more. And every time I would go to the supermarket, I'd think, oh, I really would love that, but no, I'm just going to buy the no-name soap. Okay. Now, there's nothing wrong with no-name at all. It's all about feeling good. Even when you are a multi-millionaire, I still shop at Kmart because I feel good, right? I remember Oprah Winfrey, a lady came up to Oprah and said, oh my gosh, look at your thongs. They're so pretty. Where did you get them from? Thinking that she was going to say Oriton, Dolce & Gabbana. And she said, I like $12.95 from Kmart. Aren't they beautiful? You know, it's just feel good. Whatever it is that you're doing, it's never about the branding. It's about feeling good, right? It's about that vibration. So when I went to the supermarket shelf and I would look at all of the brands, I just stretched myself a little bit, and I just stretched myself with $2 or $3 that fortnight. And I bought the Thank You soap and I put it in my bathroom. So every time I went to the bathroom, oh, I just felt so good because I was using the brand of soap that I really wanted. So I started to feel abundant. You know, instead of buying the no-name cling wrap in my kitchen drawer, my third drawer, I bought Glad wrap because that's the brand I wanted, right? Does this make sense? It's about feeling good. So you don't need to go and do massive, don't go put yourself in debt to buy the fancy car or the nice home or wear the brands to impress the friends you don't have. Please don't do that, right? Please don't do that. That is not success. Go and do things that make you feel really good. Look in the mirror and say to yourself, this is what a wealthy woman looks like. And our self-worth is our net worth. So write down everything that comes up after the words I am, then reframe those affirmations as we spoke about earlier. Just be careful how you're speaking to yourself. We are our worst critic, right? And if we spoke to our best friend the way that we would speak to ourselves, some days they would tell us to skip town, right? So just watch that internal communication, because we feel good. Again, we do good, we attract good, which is really cool. We talked about the law of action earlier. So this is about taking intentional action. Clearing out the crap is about clearing unnecessary clutter that we don't realize is interfering with our finances. So go to your purse, pull out all the old receipts, pull out the scrunched up chewing gum that's in there, pull out the gift cards that you're not using, right? Clear the space. It's the law of vacuum. No two things can actually hold up a space. So if you pull out that stuff, you're waiting for money to come in. If you would love to manifest a new car, like I did just recently, I made space on my driveway for the new car to come in, right? So if you want a new car, start making the space for it. Clear out your garage of all the boxes. that are taking up where you would be parking your beautiful dream car. The next thing, just before we wrap up, is we need to give our money order. This is so important, and it was something that I was not doing. And I want you to think about wastage, right? If your money is a relationship, and if you're not honoring it, if you're not valuing it, if you're depreciating it by spending it all, right? If you're not appreciating it by investing some or saving some, right, it is going to find a way to flee. And this was one of my biggest pitfalls to prosperity, right? And I want you to think about if you were to give your child, your son or your daughter, $20 and they wasted it, they didn't honor it, they weren't good stewards of the money, would you as a parent give them more? I know that if my Amy, she's 16, if I gave her $20 and she just wasted it, I, as a parent, would probably not give her any more because she's not taking it. She's not being wise with it. So why would you be given any more if you can't handle what you've got now? If you can't handle hundreds of dollars now, or you can't control, or you can't handle being a thousandaire, what makes you think that you're going to handle being a millionaire? Right? Have a budget. What's coming in? What's going out? I never had a budget. I had no idea. The only thing that I knew was I was so scared to get my bank statements and my credit card statements at the end of the month and my mortgage statements and all that, and just go into that financial fear again, just cringing that nothing had changed. One of the 12 universal laws of success is called the law of demand and supply. When we put a demand on our money, the supply must follow. It's a law, it must happen. So this next principle that I started to follow the day I decided to start mastering the science of money, this principle is called the 10-10-10 rule. And it stands for save 10, spend 10, and give 10. So I modeled this principle from many financial wisdom books, including biblical principles, but either way, it has worked absolute miracles in my own life. And I teach this to my students and my clients as well. I've got no background in finance other than working in corporate for a bank and a financial institution for 13 or 14 years, right? I'm not an accountant, and I still look for ways to diversify my investments, but I have studied the prosperous people that went before me. And this is exactly what they did. And one thing that I've noted is that most prosperous people in the world, they follow certain prosperity rules. And I'm not one to argue with proof. So I chose that percentage that kind of made sense with me. And I went with the 10-10-10 rule, or the percentage of money. So each percentage really relates to where you allocate your money with each payday, with each payment or source of income that you receive. Every time you receive pay, the first thing that you would do is pay yourself first, because you're honoring yourself. You're telling the universe that I am important. Most of the times I used to pay all my bills first, and if there was anything left over, which normally I was in the minus and there was more monthly money most of the times, I rarely got to spend anything on myself because of that lack and scarcity. So with the 10% that you pay yourself first, that you put into an untouchable savings account that you do not touch in any circumstance. And the reason that you don't touch it is because it's kind of obvious. You want your savings to grow before your eyes. And when you see your savings grow, when you get to that first $80 in your savings and you think, oh my gosh, I'm close to 100. Or when you get to, $495, you think, oh my gosh, $5 more and I'm at 500. Or you get to $997, you think, oh my gosh, $3 more and I'm at 1,000. And you feel good because you can see the money growing. So you want it to grow before your eyes. So the number one goal with your money is to grow. Because what we respect appreciates, and what we spend depreciates. So with the next 10%, Donate that to a charity, a church, or an important cause that you believe in. Find someone or something that speaks to you, and feel free to ask for divine guidance on this one. I do it all the time, of how you want to make a contribution to others beyond yourself. And Tony Robbins, one of my biggest mentors, said something that stuck with me hardcore years ago, when he said, if you can't give away $1 out of every 10, you'll never be able to give away $100,000 out of every million. And it really, really hit home with me. So in order to ever get comfortable giving, you must start now. And it becomes a habit you're going to fall in love with as well. It's about feeling abundant, that continuation of the money flow as well. And so you're putting that vibe out of abundance, and that's going to come back to you. So what do you do with the rest of the money? Obviously, we need it to pay bills and to eat. But in the beginning, when you don't feel like you've got enough, it can be really challenging to put this practice into place. But when you do it, you will find money opportunities come your way. Unexpected amounts of money would just show up in your bank account. Well, this has been my experience. Things like, I call them miracles, that come out of nowhere, because when you put a demand, when you give your money order, the supply must follow. If the supply is not following, it's because you're not following the rules of money. Lastly, as we wrap up, we talk about the fourth pillar of success, and that's grace. So I began to learn really, really quickly that the how is never up to you. How am I going to make money? Where is this money going to come from? It's not your job. It is not your worry. It's not your responsibility. Your only job is to release yourself from all the details and focus on the destination. The surprises of manifesting money is why this process is so much fun, right? And that's the point. This game is fun. When you play a game in life, it's meant to be fun. So have fun with it. Play the game. In these moments of the hooly-dooly, like, is this really happening, right? Did I really just manifest this, right? And I actually track my manifestation. I track money every day. So that might be another little tip for you. Track your abundance. When someone gives you a bunch of flowers, or someone gives you a birthday card, or a gift voucher turns up in the mail, you want to feel the abundance and give yourself all of those reasons, and see all of those blessings that are coming for you. Because when you feel that, you're going to attract more of it, right? And so that's what makes it even more epic, because it's not supposed to be stressful. Money is not supposed to be stressful, right? So remember that the how-to is not up to you. So make sure you detach, right? All you have to do is ask for money. Feel the feelings of the money that's already here. Intend for it to manifest, and just let it go. Stop thinking about it. Go and do something else. Go watch a movie, go read a book, continue on with your family, but just get it out of your mind, because your subconscious mind's already heard you. Universe has already heard you. Divine knows what you want, right? The more you stress and the more you worry about it, the more you're showing divine that you don't trust the process. Divine is infinite. It is limitless. So let's not put the limit on that. And that energy of distrust ends up manifesting more distrust. Thus, no money coming your way. It's a cycle. There's a really great book, just in wrapping up. It's called It Is Done by Richard Dotts. And it's the final step. It's this fourth pillar of success. It's the final step in the manifestation process. And it'll really help you to just trust and let go. So if you go back and apply these wealth principles and follow the masters that have gone before you and I promise you, you'll have money coming in from expected and unexpected sources. You're going to pinch yourself. And my hope is that, it really highlights the beautiful soul that you are. In the right hands, money is just such an incredible gift. And I really believe, you know, that as business owners, or with our mission, or with our purpose, or in our careers, or in our jobs, whatever that is for you, or with our wealth creation strategies, whatever they are, that you not only have you and your family in that beautiful, safe, protected space of wealth and abundance, be that rich woman, but not rich just in money, but rich in your soul, rich in your giving, rich in your health, rich in your relationships. Be proud. Be proud of being a rich woman. And let's show other women what it's like to have money and be graceful with it, because that's how you and I really change the world together. I really truly believe that. And there's, you know, it's no accident that we, you know, Kimberly and myself are here with you today, because I'm sure that there was some point that you just cried out that bold prayer that said, just bring something my way. There's got to be a better way. And my prayer and my hope for you is that you don't just learn this and become another one of those theorists. My prayer is that you become a practitioner, because it's as a practitioner that's how success is achieved, by actually doing and implementing. So sending you lots of love, and my goodness, we could just keep going on and on, because this is one of my most favorite topics to share on. But yeah, let's leave it at that.
Incredible. You're amazing. Thank you so much, Cathy. I might get you to stop screen share very briefly as we finish off, but I think, you know, there is just so much gold and just a wealth of information there. And I know that you have been in all the seminars, you've read all the books, and you just deliver it on this golden platter for us in just such an elegant and simple way. But as you said, it's all well and good to be the spectator, but when you step into this and start being a student and can dig a stake in the ground today, you know what? It's not hard work, right? And I think that when I was sitting on the cusp of really diving into this work, I was like, it sounds too easy. So surely it's not going to give me the results. But when I embrace these principles of everything that you've shared today, for me personally, I took a little side business from 3 figures a month to 4 figures to my first 5-figure month. People ask, what was the difference? What was the action? I'm like, the action didn't change. It was the emotion behind the motion that changed. And it is just everything that you have shared is basically a step-by-step system for people to level up in this area of their lives. And I do want to share here as well that, you know what, do this work for you, absolutely, but do it for the next generation, because us as parents, we're passing down these beliefs to our children and their children and yet their children's children's, right? So I think that's a really honorable place to come from when you can do that, because you know that your work that you're doing is either breaking a cycle that hasn't been serving your family, or it's creating and being the inventor of that new one. So Kath, obviously people that are in our Naked Health Challenge have access to you with a 6-week coaching course. However, outside of that, where do they find you online? I know you've got an incredible 21-day manifestation course. I don't know whether there's another one coming up. I'm definitely putting you on the spot here. But where would people find you to want to lean in a little bit more and maybe work with you in this space?
Yeah, so love sharing just the different tools and the resources so that you can implement these in a very simple and an elegant way, definitely. I love simplicity. That's one of the things that I've loved to do over the years, because it all seems so confusing to me, but just to really break down the essence and keep it simple so it's manageable and effective. There's a website that is in the process of being built right now, but it is live. It's www.cathyfeenan.com. And when you click on that page, there is a link there that will take you to the She Rises Empowered Women community. And in there, we're constantly putting in messages and value and tools and resources and running masterclasses and programs to help you to create that abundant and joyful and happy life that you so innately deserve.
Incredible. Thank you so much, lovely. And to all of our viewers, we appreciate you and we're so excited. And we would love for you to share in the chat if you've had some light bulb moments today, because as Cathy said at the start of the call, the bulk of this work is getting out your own torch and just shining a spotlight on what's really been going on for you. And that's the exciting part. So if you have some light bulb moments, we'd love to see them in the chat. But so cool to hang out with you. We appreciate you. We're so grateful for you. And we look forward to the next episode of Naked TV next Thursday. Bye, guys.
Bye for now.